Heading to the chat room.
Chat
Yeah,
room.
yeah, yeah. What just happened? No. No, what happened? Your
What?
camera went off. There
Oh, it's on.
we
I
go,
turned
there we
it
go.
off.
You're back. You're back. Oh, hey, whoa.
Oh, so your camera's not on. That's why I turned mine off.
There we go. What's up, Stan? How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. You know?
Good to hear. Always
How
good to
about
hear.
how about you?
I'm doing just fine, just fine.
Awesome. Awesome.
Anyone and everyone watching, welcome to the Jedi Temple Podcast, Episode 2. Now, this is Podracing. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a couple things. We're going to talk about The Phantom Menace, Episode 1 for a little while. Kind of give it lightweight review and just chat about it for a little bit. We're going to jump into some Star Wars Visions Season 2. And wherever the hell else the stream leads us, that's what we'll do.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. We got Davin in the chat, brother. What's up, Davin,
Shout out.
bro? What's
Yeah,
up,
shout out
Davin?
Davin. There he
Davin
is.
watched The Phantom Menace with me last night. We had a good time. We were poking fun at it. We were poking fun at it the whole time, but it was fun.
Hey, I don't blame you.
We
I don't blame you.
we were up till what, like 3 something watching that shit. Yeah. So yeah, we had a good time.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's got some stuff wrong with it, but it's an overall a good movie to sit there and watch.
Yeah, so I think that's a good segue. That's a good Jar Jar package me. Yeah, we were like, I wonder if Jar Jar's packing an 11.5 incher, dude.
He's got to be for being as dumb as he is.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think that's a good starting point. First of all, what do you think of the Phantom Menace, Stan? Do you like it? Do you not like it? How do you feel about it?
I don't like the acting so much, and I mean, I'm not an actor, so I can't be too much of a critic. It just personally, I didn't really like it, but I don't know. I guess that's what George was going for, but I like the characters mostly. Like, I love Maul, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, seeing what Anakin was as a kid. He was always a little rebellious,
Right.
and he always had that I know what I'm doing factor.
Yeah.
And you can see that as he grows up in the other movies.
Right.
So, I overall I liked it a lot, and it tells you, it tells a new story from something that came out. I don't want to be wrong, but I want to say 79 is when the first one came out, and maybe after then, I don't know.
The original, yeah, late 70s for sure.
Yeah. So, and it started a new story on a new chapter of an old story.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
So I feel kind of quite the opposite of you. I think Phantom Menace is the worst Star Wars movie. Well, no, I don't scald me. I take that back. I take that back. It's better than. Hold on. Someone was yelling outside my door. Outside my apartment door. But it's better than Rise of Skywalker. I think it's better than The Last Jedi. So it's not the worst, but it's I don't watch it as often as I watch the other ones. I don't have a huge problem with it other than it's boring. Like, the Phantom Menace really is. It focuses a lot on the politics. I think a little too much sometimes. Like, me and Davin were talking about it last night. We were like, man, there is a lot of just talking in this movie. Like, just talking. And it kind of get like, and it's too much sometimes. And I can see why or where this would turn people off, because I know a lot of people don't like the Phantom Menace.
No, Nate, I agree.
But
overall, it's not that great.
But where it does strive, it strives. I mean, it's Qui-Gon Jinn is obviously one of the great things that come out of this movie. we first get introduced to Obi-Wan as the younger Obi-Wan, obviously the great Ewan McGregor. Yeah, so like in Darth Maul, you know, the list goes on with the good things that we do get out of this movie, but overall, lots of dialogue, too much dialogue. Jar Jar Binks is silly. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I don't think it's the worst Star Wars movie, but I think it's far from the best.
Definitely. I would agree with that.
All right. So, your topics for what you want to bring up is a little bit lengthier than mine. So I think we should start with what you want to talk about first.
Well, your topics go in order a little
They
bit,
do,
right?
they do. Oh, they do.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll start with mine. That's fine.
Yes, start with yours.
So, the movie opens. We're introduced to the Trade Federation and those weird frog lizard looking fellas. And so yeah, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon show up to meet with the Trade Federation, and they fall into a trap. And this is when the lightsaber maneuvers and stuff with Star Wars got cool. This is when they started to really, like, when we first see them whip out them lightsabers and they start twirling them around like they do, it looks so sick. But people were used to, you know, kind of like Luke and Vader's more steady, kind of not as flashy movement with it.
Yeah.
But here in the Phantom Menace, when we're introduced to Qui-Gon and Obi in the beginning of the movie, and they kill those, well, not kill, but they dismantle those battle droids.
Oh yeah, it's like they're writing on paper. With
Yeah.
Their lightsaber movement.
Yeah.
They're really, really good Jedis when it comes to lightsaber battle.
Yeah, and for a long time I was kind of confused as to like why didn't they train like this for the originals? Why isn't it as flashy? And there's an actually in lore answer for that, and it's because this takes place when the Jedi Council and the Jedis were like they were actually Jedis. So there was the temple, there was younglings being trained, there was classes, whatever the hell the case may be. So they're a lot more skilled, obviously. So when the originals come along, episodes 4, 5, and 6, the Jedi Order's been dismantled for a long time. So I think that makes it makes sense to me, but yeah.
It's kind of like a forgotten art or a forgotten,
forgotten art. That's perfect wording for it.
Like a piece of a book's missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan get onto the ship, and they obviously realize something's up. It's a trap. It's a trap. And shit.
It was.
Like I said, guys, this is a forgettable one.
Yeah, I think the Trade Federation was set up on that outskirts of Naboo because Naboo wasn't a part of something. I don't know. I could be butchering that, but I know that's why they were at Naboo. They weren't a part of like
the Republic.
The Republic or the galactic system maybe.
I think it's the Galactic Republic. I could be wrong though, but I think I get what you're trying to say. So yeah, and that's where a lot of the political shit comes in, because like I get really confused when it comes to stuff like that. I get lost in it. I'm like, oh, what? What are they talking about? I don't really understand this conversation. You know, that happens a lot during the Phantom Menace, but. Yeah, they are set up on the outskirts of Naboo. That is true,
and that's going back to the dialogue, just talking.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing here I want to bring up about the lightsabers really quick is this is when lightsabers actually cut through anything like bread and butter, as we saw recently for some reason other than when Luke shows up at the end of Mando season 2. Lightsabers are more so like like baseball bats. Like if you remember in Kenobi, he
Yeah.
when he's fighting the stormtroopers in one of the later episodes, it's like bouncing off of the stormtroopers more so than cutting through them as it should. So that's another thing I wanted to point out. I just feel like lightsabers have been nerfed since this time period.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
And I see a lot of things on the internet talking about, oh, well, there's different, like, there's a training mode on the lightsaber, or, like for when they're training with each other, so it's not as powerful. But still, that doesn't make sense. Why the fuck would Obi-Wan have his lightsaber on training mode when he's literally fighting stormtroopers? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But whatever, Disney, do your thing. The CGI in this movie is atrocious.
Yeah.
It gets bad. It gets really bad.
It is from 99. So.
It is from 99, but Jurassic Park is from 93.
Yeah.
And that holds up to this day. But I get it. Did The Phantom Menace have as big as a budget as Jurassic Park did? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But you would think it would, with how successful the original three were. You would think they would give them a big budget. But yeah, this is when CGI was fairly new and people were still kind of learning how to use it. So the ships, like, that was one of the noticeable things. The ships look a little bad, and Davin was saying, he was asking me if they use any miniatures for, like, the ships or the cities. And to be honest with you, I did not notice any miniatures, like nothing that I could point out. Do you think they use any miniatures as far as the cities and the ships go?
Yeah, I think they definitely could have.
I think it's possible too, but I had a hard time pointing it out if they did.
If they did, yeah, I couldn't have pointed it out, but I'm not saying they did.
Yeah, but when we...
Especially because it was still 99, and George, he wanted to keep it true, I guess, to how the original films were, but still with that time's technology.
Yeah, I get it, but...
I hate speaking on his name and, like, what he thought, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So, yeah, the CGI is not the greatest. It's not the worst. Like, some spots it looks fine. It looks fine. But there are some spots where it's like, ooh, that's dodgy. That's obviously green screened, or you know what I mean. Yeah. But that's just what comes with these movies. You gotta be able to.
Even when it got to 2 and 3, it was still not like that great. It got better, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I think by the time Revenge of the Sith came out, I think it was passable. It was mostly passable. But 1 and 2, they definitely struggled a little bit. But it doesn't... I was going to say it doesn't bring the story down, because the CGI itself doesn't bring the story down. The story brings the story down.
Yeah.
But,
no, you're not wrong.
How do you feel about... Like, what do you think about Qui-Gon Jinn? Because this is obviously where we're first introduced to him. And I knew nothing of him before I saw The Phantom Menace. I don't know if I'm sure there's comics or, whatever the case may be out there.
I like him a lot, but I feel like he may have been brainwashed, and that may be my inner Sith coming out. But I do think he stood by the Jedi Order even after his master went to the dark side, and then he kind of went under Yoda and maybe Mace's wing.
Are you saying that Qui-Gon Jinn was brainwashed by Dooku?
No, the Jedi Order.
Oh, by the Jedi Order. I think Qui-Gon was more reluctant to follow the Jedi Order, because if you remember when he brings in Anakin, they're like, no, he's too old. We're not going to train him. And he's like, well, fine, fuck it. Then fuck Obi-Wan. That's not my Padawan anymore. I'm taking Anakin on as my Padawan. So I think
You're not wrong. Yeah.
And watching Tales of the Jedi, which we can talk a little bit more about later when we talk about Visions.
Yeah. I only watched it once through, but
Same. Uh, Seeing the younger Qui-Gon and younger Count Dooku, I think that Qui-Gon obviously takes after Dooku when it comes to he believes that Jedi should be able to love and Jedi should be able to have emotional attachments. Well, not attachments, but at least like a wife or a husband, whatever the case may be. It shouldn't be as strict down as the order is. I feel like Qui-Gon was aligned more with Dooku when it came to things like that.
yeah. No, maybe I'll. Now that you brought that up, I do see how that may be more true
Mm-hmm.
than what I was saying.
But I do see where he is still obviously brainwashed by the order as well, because it does show. You
Yeah.
see that more of
And
that towards the
maybe
end
not
of.
maybe not brainwashed, but he definitely still went by the code of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even if he disagreed with it, he still
Yeah.
lived by it, which is I think that makes Qui-Gon a cool character. Um, yeah, I think Qui-Gon's really cool. I think Liam Neeson did a good job, a phenomenal job bringing that character to life. You know,
Oh yeah.
we don't get. I mean, I was gonna say we don't get much of Qui-Gon, but as the whole when it comes to the whole story, we don't get much of Qui-Gon. So what we do get here is cool as hell, and I think he is one of the cooler characters in the lore. And I just wish we could have saw more of him. No spoilers for Kenobi, but I just wish we could have saw more of him.
Yeah, that was kind of a letdown. But
You mean Kenobi?
yeah, with no Qui-Gon.
Yeah. I mean,
He was there, but
it's been a long time. We're spoiling here.
I wanted more.
Yeah, I wanted more. He showed up in like the last couple minutes of the finale, and he was a Force ghost, obviously. But let me see, what do we got next here? This is why a lot of people dislike the Phantom Menace. Jar Jar Binks is introduced in this movie as kind of the comic relief, like the character for the kids.
Yeah.
I don't hate him as much as everyone else does. I definitely think the story could do without him, but I don't mind him being there. I get it. It's cool. You know, like we talked about in the last episode, Star Wars is for kids. As George has said on multiple occasions, Star Wars has always been for kids. So I think it's fine that they brought in a character to kind of keep the kids entertained. And I did find some of the shit that he did and said funny. I did. Me and Davin noticed, we pointed out, if you pay attention to Jar Jar Binks when he's walking, the entire movie he's using the same animation. It's the same animation. It never changes.
His arms and legs are just moving.
Always just flopping like this. It's fucking funny. It's funny as hell.
I think the character, because it seems like, they didn't really have Chewbacca in that movie, so they just kind of added
Chewbacca's not in that movie.
A non-human, like a humanoid character,
mm-hmm.
But it was something that George and his son created.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either for the longest time, but figuring that out, I was like, okay, it makes more sense. But to this day, I'm still team Darth Jar Jar. I want somebody to make something I can look at.
I would like to see an offshoot Darth Jar Jar story.
Yeah. I don't want anything canon. It's just a meme that's been around for so long. I want to see somebody do like a little fan film or just a cartoon or something. It'd be cool.
A cartoon. I think if Star Wars was to ever kind of like venture into the space that like I haven't seen this and I won't watch it, but like say Velma, the new Velma series, how it's more so for adults.
Okay.
If they
Yeah, I've
were to
been watching.
like do that with Jar Jar Binks and do the Darth Jar Jar storyline and kind of make it like a comedy, like a
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah, I think that would be cool. I would watch that for sure. I would 100% watch that. Disney, call me. Disney, call me. I got some ideas. So yeah, we're introduced to Jar Jar and his species. Well, his people are from a I forget the name of the city, but they're from a underground city. I'm gonna call it Atlantis because that's what the fuck it is. It's Atlantis. Um, but and that's what we're. I used to think that these guys were no good. They were bad news, but upon rewatching last night, I was like, oh, okay. The the leader of these people is a dick, but he's not necessarily a villain. And another thing with the CGI, I think the CGI for that underwater city was good. I think it looked fine. I think it was okay. I just said three different things. I think it was good. I think it looked fine. I think it was okay. Uh oh. Stan's frozen. Technical difficulties already. Technical difficulties already. Um, I'm sure he doesn't want to have his face stuck like that, so I'll remove him for now until he gets back. So moving forward, I think the next note I got is the scene when, yeah, they're on their way down to this Atlantis, city, and that kaiju esque fish monster is like chasing them, and then it gets eaten by an even bigger creature. I thought that shit was cool, and that's where the famous line "There's always a bigger fish" comes from. And me and Stan were just talking about that before the show. We were trying to think of a name for this episode. Obviously, we ended up on now this is pod racing, but we were gonna. There's always a bigger fish. That's what we were gonna call it. Man, I need to text our good buddy Stan. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that scene was cool. I thought that scene was really cool. My next note is the CGI is really bad. Yeah, the not gonna get any more into that, but that's in here a couple times how bad the CGI is. There was obviously something that caught my eye, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not great, not great." Um, Queen Amidala, stop Stan the man. Stan is unfortunately frozen at the moment. We're waiting for him to get back. We are waiting for him to get back. Maybe I think his Wi-Fi went out. That might have been what happened. How's the chat doing tonight? How y'all doing? Let me chit chat with y'all. How's everybody doing tonight? We're talking about the Phantom Menace. We're kind of just giving a brief review about it right now, going through some points. What do y'all think about the Phantom Menace? Is it one of the more likable entries for you? Do you hate it like me? I fucking hate the Phantom Menace. I think it's one of the worst Star Wars movies. Definitely not the best. Not the biggest fan of it. I think it has good elements, but what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Nee, 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 nee. Revenge of the Sith, the best. Yes, 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 yes. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I got you. Can you hear this? Can you hear this? Let me know if you can hear this. I can't hear it. Do I? Emperor Guyver, yes. Phantom Menace was my #1 hated Star Wars film. Then the sequels happened. That was what I said in the beginning of this episode. I was like, man, Phantom Menace is the worst. And I was like, oh, wait, let me, hold on. Rewind. The sequels happened. So, yeah, Phantom Menace is definitely a little stronger than The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker to me. But, yes, Stan is on.
Yes. Liar!
Man.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
That was stupid.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hold on.
And I was in the middle of talking about, the city and how I liked the way it looked, but I don't know when I cut off. But we can keep going where you were at.
No, go ahead. I waited for you to get back.
Okay. So, yeah, the city that they're from, I like it because it's on like a mountain view, and I don't know, that you just enter it, you can just literally swim into it, and then it's just out like there's no water, and they just look like little lanterns or I don't know, like a chandelier kind of.
You got a homie in the chat right now. He says, "Sup, Stan the man, Emperor Guyver."
Hold on, I'm waiting on it to load up. Emperor Guyver. What's up? How you doing?
Lock up your daughters, ladies and gentlemen. The Dark Knight returns. He's back.
Mark. That's my boy Mark right there.
Yeah, I was asking them how do they feel, like where does the Phantom Menace rank for them, and
I see. Yeah, I see that. That's when I came back in.
Mark said the same thing that I did. It's the #1 most hated Star Wars film, and then the sequels happened. Right. Davin brings up a good point. Is Stan on Wi-Fi? I wonder if that's what's causing his cam to act funky every now and then.
Yeah, I am on Wi-Fi.
That could be our issue. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I told my dad I need to move the router in here. So, or maybe not in here, but at least not where all the animals are around it, because my big ass cat bumped into it.
Just holler at my dad, bro. He'll come over. He'll bring you a long ass Ethernet and install it to where you can you know what I mean?
I completely forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the city is. I was talking about how there's always a bigger fish scene, because I think that's either when they're on their way, they're in the water on their way to the city or leaving the city. And that fish kind of swims behind the ship, and you see it in the background, and then
it was a nice scene.
All of a sudden, fucking this big kaiju creature fish fucking snatches it up. I was like, holy shit. I didn't remember that. And you know how big of a geek I am for like giant monster shit. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, no. That's a scene that's probably overlooked a lot.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. That's what I was saying. We were like, we don't know what we're going to name tonight's episode. We were kind of juggling between now this is pod racing and there's always a bigger fish. Obviously, y'all see what we landed on. But, yeah. So, there's always a bigger fish scene is really cool. And my next note here is, you're probably going to agree with me on this. Queen Amidala wears the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
The outfits in the prequel era more so than anywhere else is kind of like it's so jarring. Like there was an outfit, I can't remember exactly what she was wearing, but I was like what is she wearing? Why do they dress like that? Stan, do you know? Is it because they're political figures and they think that's just royalty, or are they just bored?
I'm sure that has something to do with it, but I really don't. When it comes to her, I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's something she does where, and I don't know if she's trying, because when she's dressed up like that, it's not like she's trying to go incognito.
Right.
So I'm not sure. It may just be like, I'm the supreme leader.
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's more of a like
not
a leader
supreme
thing.
leader, but I'm the leader of Naboo. So when I come around, you can tell who I am. Kind of like the Pope. Like when he walks around, you know who the Pope is.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, there was just her outfits, and she switches outfits so often in the movie. It's like every different scene, she's in something completely different.
And full face paint, just something different.
Amidala would fit right in at Derby. That is true, bro. That is so true, because she really would. Fendi really be showing out for her fits. I hate y'all. I haven't... Hold on. We're about... I want to say we're about 30 minutes in, maybe a little less, and I haven't shared the stream. So
me neither. I was doing that earlier, but then I saw I was looking down. I was like,
CF radio moment. CF radio moment. Pause
right.
for a second.
Shout out to CF Radio.
Shout out to CF Radio. If you don't know, you won't know. Go to the motherfucking YouTube chat after this stream and type in CF Radio, and I want you to binge all the episodes. Every fucking last one of them. Watch them all, because CF Radio is that shit. Love our good buddies Blaze and Christ over there, and all of the homies that show up on CF Radio. Mikey, it's a good time over there.
Always a good time. I love it.
Did you send? Is that the link?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now this is pod racing.
Yeah, I want to get into the pod racing a little bit.
Not
too much.
We are.
Just because that's the title, and we can't.
Well, I have a neat point to bring up about the pod racing shit too, that pertains to my fandom to Star Wars. The droids are hilarious. I don't know why they are so funny in the prequels. Like every droid is hilarious, other than like the big menacing battle droids, but like the Roger, those guys, and the R2 units and the C3 units, they all are just so damn funny, and I don't remember them being that damn funny. Like they're
all real ditzy for some
reason.
I
should have wrote down this line that one of them said that literally had me fucking rolling. I was rolling. He was, man, that pisses me off. But yeah, the battle droids are hilarious. The R2 units, like, remember the scene when I forget, it's Qui-Gon obviously flying the ship, or I think so, and he's got like this is when we're first introduced to R2D2. He sends the R2 units out because something's damaged on the ship, so like, and one of them gets like fucking shot and fucking destroyed, and that's what, like the first little wow shit. That shit is funny. Yeah, that shit, it legit made me laugh, and I'm glad it did. That's one of the highlights of this movie for me, is the droids. The droids are cool.
And that's always in Star Wars. I like the little mouse droids that they had in The Mandalorian Season 3.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the chick who like fixes up his ship? Her little droids that help her?
No, I think it was whenever Din was communicating to the droid, and then the little box, like black or gray droids, came up.
The little vacuum thing that rolls around. Like the little RC car.
Right. I just call them the little mouse droids.
Okay, yeah, that's funny. Ironic, we're on this film since I've been playing Episode 1 Racer.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna bring that game up when we get to the pod racing
nice
segment.
game. Yes.
If that's the game I'm thinking of, yeah, we'll talk more about it later. Darth Maul. Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
We're introduced to one of the absolute coolest characters in Star Wars, Darth Maul. I mean, this guy, before I was even into Star Wars, I knew who Darth Maul was because this guy's design is just so menacing. It's so cool. I don't know if his war paint, or I know it's not like his war paint, but like it looks like war paint, but his skin complexion is like that black and red. It just meshes so well, and he is one of the coolest Sith characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the coolest Sith characters that we've ever gotten.
And I love Darth Maul. He was probably one of my favorite Siths. Definitely top 3.
That double wielded lightsaber is so fucking sick. So sick. Davin says, I wonder if the bots were goofy because they were all earlier models, like the AI was just starting to learn type shit.
I mean, yeah. They could have been, because now, like, well,
droids now are not as ditzy.
And they live so long, so I don't. Maybe there's an evolution sense to droids.
Maybe.
But I don't think so. But I don't know. But a lot of them are ditzy, but then you always have the battle droids too. So I don't know. Maybe it's the type of program they are.
Mark says, I was obsessed with Maul back in the day. Ray Park is a gym. Ray Park is a gym, and he just said he's possibly the best underutilized character ever made. Live action, he was definitely underutilized.
Yeah.
I wish we could have saw him come back in some way, shape, or form. I mean, we did. Kinda with Solo. We got a glimpse of him.
Right, and I want more about that. I brought that up in the last episode.
I do too. I want to see more I want to see a continuation to Solo, and I want to see Darth Maul be the main villain in that movie.
That would be awesome.
That would be so sick. Yeah, Ray Park is a gem. Ray Park is awesome. I really want to meet Ray Park. I heard he's a swell dude.
I don't know. I don't think Darth Maul is the only of his species. I don't know the name, but I know his brother, Savage Opress. Mm-hmm. He's yellow. He's yellow and black.
I was going to say he's yellow, right?
Yeah, and I believe Darth Maul's mother is yellow and black too. I could be wrong, but since we brought him up, I wanted to bring this up. So, okay. When someone becomes a Sith, they take a different name. So, Palpatine became Sidious, Count Dooku was Tyrannus.
Uh-huh.
So, I was looking it up. Did Darth Maul have a name before Darth Maul? But I found out that he has been training as a Sith since childhood, that if he did have another name, he completely forgot it, or if he still remembers it, it means nothing to him. And I thought that was kind of a cool fact because, we didn't know. Like, Anakin went to Darth Vader. So I just thought that was cool. Darth Maul has no other name.
He's always been Darth Maul. And I read something about Darth Maul because, spoilers, hold your ears if you haven't seen Rebels. Darth Maul obviously actually dies in Rebels.
R.I.P.
He's killed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Alec Guinness more looking, because it takes place closer to that time. But he's killed. He's killed rather quickly. That duel did not last very long. He tried to use. This is cool because he tried to use the same move that he used to kill Qui-Gon on Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan fucking outsmarted his ass. And another thing about that fight is Obi-Wan he does his, he holds the saber like this. Or hold on, how does he hold it? I forget. He does the whole thing like this. You know what I mean? He does that stance, and then he changes to his the Alec Guinness stance, and then he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna trick this son of a bitch. He goes to Qui-Gon stance, and Darth Maul's like, dummy. And obviously turns out to be the dummy. But what I'm getting at here is when he dies, he says to Obi-Wan, is he really the chosen one? And he was like, and Obi-Wan says yes, da 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 da, whatever. I feel like what I'm saying here is I feel like Darth Maul is only Sith because he was pretty much forced to be that way by the Emperor. Because I don't know too much about Darth Maul's like upbringing before we see him in.
And I don't either.
Yeah, like what was Darth Maul doing as a kid? Where was he born? How did he get in tune with the dark side?
Yeah, all I know is he was trained at the young age to be Sith.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he's known. But he's still, you can tell he has some light in him. Maybe not light, the light side. But
yeah, somewhat.
He's got standards. Maybe not morals, but he has standards.
Yeah, at least gray Jedi vibes. That's what I get. Like, I don't think he gives two shits about either side.
Especially in the first movie, yeah, he's the apprentice, but you don't see that master apprenticeship with him and Palpatine.
Right.
I feel like he's more of just a Sith bounty hunter. What that reminded me of.
You know what? Yeah, he is more so of a Sith bounty hunter. We're gonna get more into Darth Maul later because we're gonna check out a fan film about Darth Maul. If y'all are gonna stick around and check that out, it's really cool.
Definitely.
But yeah, let me see what we got next here. Obviously, we all love Darth Maul. Big love to Darth Maul. One of the coolest characters. Baby Anakin. This is about around the time in the film when we're introduced to Anakin Skywalker, and he gives that really awkward line to Natalie Portman's Amidala, and he's like, "Are you an angel?" Like, I don't know what it is about that. I think it's just knowing that they're going to end up being a thing in the future kind of just made me quibble, and I'm like, ugh, like it was just so weird, but I obviously get it.
Yeah, it was cheesy and weird, but he was a kid, so they definitely just made it something I guess a kid would have said.
Yeah, because he was like,
"Are you an angel?" Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, like, are you calling me hot? Like, what are you saying, kid? But yeah, we're introducing the baby Anakin. What do you think about the actor that played him, the little kid?
He had charisma for sure. Yeah. He was, especially when it came to his role, like whenever he had to, he had dialogue. It seemed like he was into the role and the character, with at least the character he was given on script and how he was taught to act for that character.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have an issue with the actor.
Yeah, me and Devin were talking about it last night because he brought up. I had forgotten that that child actor was like severely bullied for this movie for a long time. He said like all the way up to college. And I'm like, man, he's not like a bad part of the movie. He's not one of the things when I'm like, why do I hate the Phantom Menace? I don't say, fucking baby Anakin Skywalker. That kid sucked.
Right.
I think he was fine. I mean, like you said, he had charisma. He had some one-liners that was really cool. Now this is pod racing. That pod racing scene, he's fucking awesome in.
Yeah, he's talking shit the whole time, other than whenever his pod malfunctions at first.
Mm-hmm. Jake Lloyd, that's his name. Jake Lloyd was great. It's unfortunate what he went through. It's very unfortunate what he went through. And terrible. I hope that he's kind of...
some of those scars
have healed. Yeah, I hope he's doing fine now.
Right.
Ahmed Best went through the same thing, which is that's Jar Jar Binks, but he just recently got his redemption with.
He did. That was awesome.
Zach, whoa, Zach's in the chat. What's up, brother?
What's up?
He said, "I love that little dude." Yeah, he's a cool guy, wasn't he? Yeah, but Ahmed Best, the actor who was the mocap actor for Jar Jar Binks, just got his redemption in Mando season 3, where they brought him back as a Clone Wars era Jedi.
Yeah, Jedi Knight or Jedi Master who saved Grogu.
And they never really specified if he was a Master or a Knight. I want to say a Master, but because if you're gonna bring Ahmed Best in, you better make him a Master if you're gonna have him be a Jedi.
Yeah, that was definitely. Mark said that was the best scene of the. Yeah, the best scene of the season. I agree.
I agree too. That
Really
going
good.
back, anytime we can go back to that era, dude, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. Like in Obi-Wan Kenobi, when we got to go back when they were training, I was like, I want this. I want a show based on this. I mean, we're obviously about to get a movie, right? The Old Republic movie coming out, set way back in the beginning of the Jedi Order.
And last week when we saw the game that they were announced last year and we had a trailer for it that they haven't spoke about.
Eclipse, yeah.
Yeah, Eclipse with that droid from the Ahsoka trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Yoda's even in that game.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, our background right now, that's from that game, and Yoda is a part of that game. I really want to know more about that game, man. I don't know about you, but I really want to know more.
I want some details. Like
I do too. I want some gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay.
I want to know how they attack that. Zach says, coolest guy. Honestly, one of my favorite Star Wars movies. The Phantom Menace is one of your favorites? Okay.
I mean, he comes from around the time where that movie just first came out, and that was like the first Star Wars of my generation, and then a little bit younger, your all's generation.
Yeah,
So
I
that's where
mean,
he's coming from.
hey, everybody's got their own opinion, but I fucking hate the Phantom Menace, Zach. If you can't tell.
I like the characters.
Yeah, the characters are fine. The story just falls flat on its face. So what do we got next here? We've already covered the age gap being noticeably weird. Oh, there's a scene where Qui-Gon tries the mind trick, and it doesn't work. Do you remember that?
Yeah, with the one that owned Anakin and his mom.
Yeah, and he
I
was
can't
like,
remember his name.
he was like, I forget what he said, but that shit was funny. He was like, "You will do whatever," and the dude was like,
Yeah, it's a Jedi trick stone.
"It's like you think you waving your hands gonna do shit."
Right.
You're just hating because you wasn't acting in it, Buster. Oh, dude, if they would have offered me a role in fucking The Rise of Skywalker, I would have took it. So, yeah. That's yeah. Okay, and this is where we're first introduced into C-3PO. We see that little Anakin is building him from scratch, and
Yes.
According to R2-D2, he's naked. His parts are showing.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's funny. C-3PO, and he's been around forever.
Long time. Mark, I know you probably know the name of the actor who plays C-3PO. Drop that in the chat for me if you do know, because the name is slipping my mind right now. I want to say it's like Anthony something. I could be wrong. Starts with an A. I don't know. But yeah, we're first introducing to C-3PO in this, and C-3PO is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. He's funny as hell. And remember in Rise of Skywalker when he fucking kind of goes all Sith? He like does his eye goes red.
Yeah.
I was like, "What? Christopher Daniels?" Okay, so who the fuck am I thinking of? Christopher Daniels. Anthony Daniels. Okay, I was like, "Who the fuck am I thinking of?" Okay, so it is Anthony Daniels.
That's cool. Yeah, I do remember that when he went Sith for a little bit because they lost his mainframe. They lost something.
They lost something.
Something
And
happened. It was cool.
It was cool. That was probably one of the cooler moments of that movie. But yeah, C-3PO's always been cool peoples to me, man. I love C-3PO. He's funny. He's funny as hell.
Yeah. R2-D2 got his funny moments as well.
Oh, there's a scene where Qui-Gon and Anakin's mom are talking, and he kind of asks who is Anakin's father, and she says there is no father. I remember, as far as I can remember, I just, you know what I'm saying. Who the hell is Anakin's dad? This
I
question
could
has
be
never crossed my
wrong,
mind.
but I was talking to Chris about this, and he doesn't agree with me. But I'm pretty sure that Anakin was made by Sidious. He manipulated midichlorians and somehow got Padme, or not Padme, uh, Anakin's mom pregnant.
Dude, that's a logical way to look at it because I have no idea, but yeah, they definitely say. I remember catching this last night. I was like, man, I've never really pondered that question. Who is Anakin's father?
And I'm pretty sure that's the story of how it goes. But Chris was completely against it. I'm like, maybe in Legends, but according to the canon now, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Unless that's just a theory, but that's what the information I know on it. I'm pretty sure that's Sidious manipulated or Plagueis, whoever manipulated the midichlorians. But Plagueis was dead at that point, and maybe he took Sidious over,
Mm-hmm.
so that, and then he was trying to recreate a body he could take over, like a new body.
Okay, Mark says there's one theory that Anakin was created from the Force, and another theory that Sidious
Okay,
created him.
all right, so yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because I've like I said, I've never pondered that question, and I was like,
yeah,
man, that
they never answer who his father was.
yeah, they don't, because after this, they don't talk about it like ever again.
No,
And just a quick little funny bit I want to bring up before we get on to this next topic, which is we're probably going to spend a little bit of time talking about it. Um, Braces on Tatooine. There is a kid actor that walks up to Anakin while he's like kind of getting his pod racer together, and she's got braces. I
really.
pointed that out to Dav, and I was like, braces in Star Wars? Wow, I never knew.
Yeah, it is a funny little thing to point out.
Yeah,
I
but it
never
was
knew
funny.
that.
Yeah, it was funny. Nothing serious, obviously, but it was funny. So
Yeah.
next, midichlorians. The fan base is split down the fucking middle when it comes to midichlorians. You got people who, okay, we agree with a logical explanation for the Force, and then other people who would have preferred it to remain more mysterious, like it is in the original three. Um, where do you stand on that? Do you think midichlorians kind of like do you think they needed to give the logistics and like give a background to the Force, or should they have kept it more of a mystery?
Think that really just goes with the viewer's preference.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't have a problem. I'm all for lore and
Mm-hmm.
learning more about things. Like I want to learn more about Yoda species, which I'm sure we will, you know, down the road. So I'm not against it, but I can agree with it was a mystery, and that's something like when it could come to religion. We may never know. So
Yeah.
I can see some people they may have not wanted to know it. They just know it's there, and
Mm-hmm. Obviously,
yeah,
George wanted there to be a logical explanation to the Force.
yeah,
So I trust George Lucas. Obviously, if there's anybody I'm going to trust, it's going to be George.
yeah, one hundred
So
percent.
I don't have a problem with the midichlorians. We toy around with midichlorians in Order 66 a little bit, and yeah,
Yeah,
if that weren't there, we really wouldn't have had a certain explanation for a certain thing that is a story beat in Order 66. So I'm all for midichlorians.
definitely. I
Uh,
like how we kind of get a number outlet on like I want to say
yeah,
Anakin had like 25,000, where others only had like 5,000.
yeah, because that's my next note here. His Anakin has over 20,000 midichlorians, and Qui Gon says that's more than Master Yoda.
Yeah, and I want to say Yoda off the top of my head maybe had like 10,000 or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up, but
Mark says, yeah, the Force should have stayed as
oh,
something
okay.
mysterious. Okay. I mean, to each his own. I
Well,
think I would have been fine either way.
so right here it says um, Obi-Wan was at 13,000, Yoda was at 17,700, and then Darth Sidious was at 20,000.
Oh, Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, when they, I like when it's kind of it's a difficult topic when it comes to trying to give an explanation to everything, because did we really need like how many midichlorians did this person have or this person have? Did we really need that? I don't think we needed it, but it's a nice touch. It's cool. I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, we are at that point in the film. Now this is pod racing. Stan, I know you wanted to talk a lot about pod racing. Fire away, brother. Let me hear it.
All right, so I like pod racing a lot because it's a different aspect of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just gun battle or sword battle in a sense.
Right.
And it's for the kids. It's like kind of like go-karting or whatever. It's a lot more dangerous, but I mean, Star Wars is a dangerous place to live.
Oh yeah.
Universe. I don't know. That coming from Star Wars and watching the originals as a kid and then seeing pod racing, it's kind of like training them to become pilots for the Republic or eventually the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool, and the fact that they build it themselves.
Yeah.
And it just maybe they're not training to become a pilot in one of the little empires, but I don't know. There's nothing that they could do on Tatooine other than be savages and I guess slaves. There wasn't much for them, so pod racing was a really cool aspect to that movie.
Yeah, the pod racing scene is top 3 moments or whatever in that movie. It goes on. Me and Davin pointed this out. It goes on for like 15 minutes. I mean, maybe more. Yeah, it shows sports in the galaxy. We need more pod racing or more something like that. Yeah, I agree. It's like NASCAR in Star Wars. So, and that shit was so fun. And what I wanted to bring up about pod racing is literally the first thing I ever that I remember about Star Wars in my life. The first thing I've ever seen was that old pod racer game for the PC. My grandpa had it on his old, really shitty desktop that we had, and like that old pod racer game. And I remember sitting there playing, and I would play it for hours and hours and hours. Didn't even know what the hell Star Wars was at this point. I just knew that game was fun as hell.
Yeah. That was a fun game. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and being older now, going back and playing games like that, you still get that, that little surge, that feeling. You're like, man, this was so fun back then.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we had.
Also, our first look at the huts. Yeah.
That's true. We didn't mention that.
Yeah, Davin brought that up to me last night, and I was like, I really don't have a definitive answer because I'm not exactly sure. I know we see Jabba the Hutt, and there's like 2 more, right? Is those 2, what are they to him, first of all? Are they like his kids, his sister, brother, whatever the hell? And are they the same characters that show up in Book of Boba Fett? Do you know?
That I don't know. I wouldn't. Maybe his cousin.
Because I think it is the same characters. I just can't remember. Book of Boba Fett was a little forgettable in some points too, so I can't really remember who they are exactly. But I just want to know if that's the same characters.
I know it's Jabba, and then I'm not sure who the other one in the background is.
There's, I want to say there's 3 of them. Jabba and 2 more. But yeah, Jabba the Hutt has never really been like my cup of tea. I never really cared too much for Jabba the Hutt. I mean, he served his purpose in the originals.
They're just big slobs with money and power.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people meme
trying
the
to
shit
resemble. There's a resemblance to something, but I'm not sure what they were going for.
I want to say a snail.
Yeah.
Like a disgusting snail. And off topic here, but I was watching a podcast and there was a bigger gal. And it was like an edit. It was a meme. She went to talking to the mic, and they did the meet your fucking Jabba the Hutt language, dude.
No.
That shit had me rolling.
That's messed up.
guys, I'm doing a show here. Go away. Animals. Gotta love them. So, yeah, anything else you want to bring up about the pod racing scene?
I did like the fact that what was his name? The one that messed up Anakin's pod race.
That little slinky fucker, the little
Yeah.
little shady bitch. Yeah, I remember who you're talking
I kind of
about.
want to learn. I want to learn more about his species.
Yeah. I have another point. Anakin's skill pod racing is pretty much, dude, he pulls some maneuvers that is cool as hell, like with that character that you just brought up at the end of the race when he outsmarts him and does that whole thing. That shit was awesome. And why did we never see Sebulba?
That's Saboba. That was.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Saboba.
Sebulba. Yeah, so why did we never see Anakin?
Devin said he the local fence.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Dude's a local fent dealer, bro. He's shady.
He was definitely selling to Anakin's master.
Yeah, he was. But why don't we ever see Anakin kind of get into a pod racing situation again after this movie? I think they kind of dropped the ball on that. I mean,
he was a good, TIE fighter pilot.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could say it kind of ties to like the TIE fighter stuff and the X-wings and the speeders. Remember when him and Obi-Wan are chasing Jango Fett in Revenge of the Sith? You kind of get a feel of that, but I mean, like, I guess I'm just saying I wanted more pod racing in the prequels.
No, definitely. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try to touch base back on it.
With the sequels, like, or even anything they're doing now. Why hasn't pod racing been brought back?
Yeah,
because it is one of the cooler aspects of Star Wars.
Kind of like it's a lost sport now. We don't know anything other than what we saw in Episode 1.
Yep. So Anakin wins the pod race, obviously, and that means that Anakin now is under the care of Qui-Gon Jinn, and he leaves Tatooine to train as a Jedi. And but on their way out, this motherfucker Darth Maul tries to run little Anakin over, and we get our first lightsaber battle in thousands of years because no one knew that the Sith existed at this point. Everyone thought they had died out, and so we get the first lightsaber battle in history. Qui-Gon and not the first in thousands of years. Qui-Gon and Darth Maul fight for a little bit, and Darth Maul's kind of whooping that ass. So Qui-Gon pulls a little maneuver.
Yeah, and I don't think Qui-Gon was testing Darth Maul's strength. So.
You don't think so?
No.
I think he was just trying to get away.
Yeah. He was trying to get out of that as fast as possible. Because the longer he was in it, the more risk the people around him were to him and to themselves.
That's a good point, Mark. He says, I think it's because the prequels went darker, and that's why we didn't get more pod racing. So as the story,
that was the Anakin / Skywalker story, the start of it. So they wanted to get to the point, and I like how the movies were, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, because Phantom Menace is about 2 hours and 16 minutes with credits. So, trying to keep my damn shit up. Yeah, so the first lightsaber battles we have in thousands of years. It lasted not very long, but yeah, it's like hell yeah, finally, like we're finally getting some action. because everybody knows that's why I watch Star Wars is the lightsaber battles. That's how I'm fascinated with them.
It's a big reason why.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I wanted to make the fan film as well, because I was like, man, I really want to step into the shoes of a Jedi. We were really like training for this, and I really want to learn these maneuvers. It looks so fucking cool.
Dude, I know. I remember the one time we were out and it was cold. Like, it may have been snowing.
It was
like
snowing.
Yeah, and I accidentally smacked your hand with the lightsaber. I was like, oh no. Like, oh shit. Like, are you good? You're like, yeah, like, the fucking hurt though.
Yeah, fucking, my dad and my sisters were kind of like looking at us through the back door, like, what the fuck are these guys doing? But
yeah,
like,
your dad's like, look at them, and they're all laughing.
So I mean, I get where it would look funny, but we really took it serious, and we really got really good with those things, dude.
Yeah. You got really good. I was a little more on the Padawan side, but you were like Jedi Knight with it.
But you were like you were trying to take on more difficult shit. You were like double wielding.
Yeah, and I was trying to also try like a different style of it, and I'm trying to do something else with lightsaber battle.
Yep.
You're gonna run into problems of me getting hit here or hit all the time.
Yep. And at the same time, we're trying to train our buddy TC. We're trying to get him trained up in the Darth Vader style, which isn't like too hard, but Darth Vader still does some shit. Like he's like really powerful with his hits, and you gotta really look a certain way.
TC was a little too timid, probably.
I think TC was. I think the problem with TC was he was a little shy. I think that's all. Because we always either had, other people, is what I'm going to say, present while we're kind of doing this. So, and he was probably like a little shy to really let loose in front of him.
Yeah, that's like trying to make music in front of some people,
Yep. Mark agrees with you. I think Qui-Gon was being more defensive than actually trying to fight Maul. I agree. Definitely agree with that statement.
Because I'm sure it caught him off guard.
And
there's no doubt in my mind. He may have sensed something in the Force, but I don't think he expected that.
Nah, not at all. And so yeah, they get away from Darth Maul and they arrive on Coruscant, where we get introduced to the Jedi Council, and this is where we meet Samuel L. Jackson's Mace Windu, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And used to be. Surprise, motherfucker. Surprise, motherfucker. Jedi, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Mace Windu really used to be one of my favorite characters in Star Wars until I realized how big of a piece of shit he really is. Mace Windu's a dickhead.
He is.
And I think he has a lot to do with why Anakin turned. Because he kind of just is just constantly, I mean, from the minute Anakin arrived on Coruscant, he's giving dude shit. He's always giving dude shit, calling him untrustworthy, and he's not. You're not going to be trained in the ways of the Force. This and that. You're too old. Whatever the case may be. He's always giving Anakin some shit, all the way until the end of the Revenge of the Sith. And when he's like, if you're correct about Sidious, then you will have earned my trust. I mean, it took you this long, bro? I mean, all that Anakin did, all that Anakin's done, I mean, especially with the Clone Wars show, it took you so long to finally cut this kid a break.
Yeah, like, you really had no reason to treat him like that. Because what makes him so different, other than you felt something off about him?
Yeah, like...
I don't get that. I mean, I get it for plot in a sense, but like, there's got to be that one character who just never, always thinks like this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't like that.
Yes, Mark. Mace is the original hater. He is the biggest hater on Coruscant.
And I agree with what you said. He definitely had made Anakin turn from the Jedi.
Yeah, I think he had a lot to do with it.
They were always denying him this, denying him that.
Denying him this, denying him that. Always fucking being shady towards him, not really letting him in on a lot of the information that he really should have been let in on.
It's like being an asshole to an employee you can't get rid of.
And
they won't quit.
This is a sin. I got a Harry Potter mug on a Star Wars podcast. So yeah, fuck Mace Windu. He's a piece of shit. Yeah, my next note is Jedi Council gives Anakin shit from the beginning. And then more boring talking, blah, 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 is my next note.
Man.
So yeah, there's a once they get the course on, it's a lot of this, and until finally we get that epic scene. We're getting to the end of the Phantom Menace section of the show, guys. So we get to the end of the movie, and we get that epic scene when the door opens, and there's Darth Maul, and Duel of the Fates starts playing.
So I got a note right here for this part.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So you know the red shields that popped up while they were having their duel?
Yep.
Okay, those are actually laser doors, and they lock into position in response to potentially lethal power. So they're like a defense mechanism. So
Are
I guess
they?
they sensed the fight, and it's they're in a plasma energy processing plant, and there's 6 different laser doors in defense, and it's an ancient Naboo legend in which chaos is held back by 6 impenetrable gates.
See, I didn't know that. I always kind of had a feeling there was a reason for why they were kind of like locking in place and like changing up. But I didn't know it was that. That's cool.
Yeah, I just found that out recently, but it's because I was looking up stuff on The Mandalorian Season 3, and they brought that back. But
yeah, because that scene where he's going through and kicking all those stormtroopers' asses to get to the end, that is really reminiscent of this scene.
So that's another reason why I love The Mandalorian so much. It brings up so many different things that we've seen before, but remix it and do it in its own way.
Mark says, I still remember the theater reaction to when Maul switched to the second saber.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I wish I could have experienced the prequels in theaters, man.
I was like 4 or 5 years old, but I remember watching it. My dad fell asleep.
The Phantom Menace came out in '99, you said, right? So yeah, I was barely a year old when that movie came out. So
I think it was May too. So I was almost 5. I wasn't even 5 yet.
Yeah. So I didn't get to experience none of the good Star Wars movies in theaters. The first Star Wars movie I saw in the theater was The Force Awakens, which is what got me like, man, this shit is cool. And
which is good. I'm glad it brought newer people interested into it.
Little did I know that I was gonna become so invested in this shit and live my life by it for I mean,
right.
And I mean, who would have thought when I sat in that theater for the first time in 2015 or 14, whenever it was, that fast forward 10 years, 9 years, here I am with a Star Wars podcast. And that's just awesome. Crazy to think about for me, man. That's really crazy to think about. But yeah, I really wish I could have experienced the prequels in theaters. Yeah. I bet that was really cool.
It's kind of like where you see yourself in 5 years with something you like. I didn't think we'd be doing a podcast.
Nope. I mean, when we wrote Order 66, podcasts were kind of just now becoming like the fad. That's when people really started to come out with their podcasts around that time.
You had a few here and there, like
because of
JRE.
Obviously we wrote Order 66 during COVID, and that's where a lot of podcasts started coming out because everybody was stuck at home. I mean, what the hell else are you gonna do?
Yeah, you can't really go out and film content, and what are you gonna do? Vlog your daily life? That's maybe like a one-time video you make.
Davin says, so crazy that Star Wars saved Lego from bankruptcy. Just shows how big the legacy of Star Wars is. Yeah, we were talking about that last night, and we cannot wait to have you on, Davin, for our... we don't know exactly when we're going to do it. We're going to have to work it out with you because your work schedule. Obviously, nothing lines up the way we want it to. You do CF radio when I'm at work, and I do fucking the Jedi Temple when you're at work. So we'll have to figure something out one day to get you on here, man. Yeah, we'll have an episode to really dive deep into those.
Definitely do a gameplay of the Lego Star Wars.
Yeah,
and talk about it.
Davin knows a lot about that shit, a lot more than I thought he would know. Like when he started spitting some facts to me about it last night, I was like, dude, I didn't know you were like into that like that.
All right, that's awesome. I'm not either. I played the games when I was younger, like middle school, but when it comes to playing the game now, I'd be starting over like I was, 12-year-old me.
Yep, yep, yep. The aerial battle that's like kind of secondary to the lightsaber battle at the end, I thought was really cool. I loved seeing little Anakin out there, doing his thing with the ship.
Yeah.
He blew up the main ship and shut all the droids down, and that the whole aerial battle was really cool. I had a good time with that.
Yeah.
And then we get one of the most depressing scenes in Star Wars, Qui-Gon's death. When Qui-Gon died, man, it's like, no. Fuck.
I wanted to see what they were going to do with this character.
Yeah, I really wanted him to survive, man, because that brings up another point that we were talking about last episode that we were going to save to talk more about here. If Qui-Gon would have lived, I think that would have really changed the way Anakin viewed a lot of shit. I think Anakin definitely wouldn't have turned if Qui-Gon would have lived.
Right. Or, yeah, I don't think he would have turned either, but now that you brought that back up, it would be cool if he killed Qui-Gon.
If Anakin killed Qui-Gon?
Yeah, because like how Ben, turned on Luke.
Yeah, Qui-Gon died for our sins. He did. He
sure did.
He died for Anakin's sins. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would have been really cool if they would have saved Qui-Gon's death to be killed by Anakin.
Or just, something else.
Something else. But man,
it still wasn't bad. They had, I guess
it obviously had to happen, right?
Yeah, they had to kill somebody, and they couldn't kill Obi-Wan.
And Liam Neeson obviously probably didn't want to do more than one of these.
Yeah, he said he wants to come back and do something. But yeah, he probably didn't want to just live the Mark Hamill life.
Yeah, because I mean, how difficult? I don't know how difficult it was for them to talk him into coming back for Obi-Wan, but
I think he was on board for it because of how successful the third movie was and how like beloved Ian and Hayden are.
Yeah,
I think he was on board with it.
And that's another thing, man. People gave poor Hayden Christensen shit for so long. I mean, yeah, I get it to a certain extent. His dialogue in Attack of the Clones and somewhat in Revenge of the Sith is cringy, but that's not Hayden's fault. Like, what is Star Wars? What is the fandom of Star Wars problem with kind of taking out their nitpicks and their anger out on these actors when it's not the actors' fault? They're just working with what they were given.
Yeah,
that's like true. I'm sure Hayden Christensen would have done an amazing job if he would have been given something a little better to work with.
And he's been in other movies too. I think around the time Revenge of the Sith came out, he was in I think it was Jumper. That was kind of like a movie where he was a teleporter. And
I've never seen it. I have to check it out. I've never seen anything Hayden's been in other than Star Wars.
That's a good one to go to because he's around the same age as Revenge of the Sith. That was a good one.
Is he?
I personally liked it.
Sweet.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. I'll move on to the next thing here. So yeah, Qui-Gon dies, and because of the Obi-Wan being kind of held back by the laser doors, and when Obi-Wan finally does get to... Oh, another thing before I get into that, when Qui-Gon was kind of just kneeling down and kind of just prepping for that laser door to remove and for him to jump into battle, I thought that was sick. I don't know what it is, but I think that's sick. Fandoms in general just have crazy. Star Wars and music probably have the worst. I think, yeah, Star Wars and music and DC Comics. DC Comics has a somewhat toxic fan base. So does Marvel. I mean, every fandom is toxic in its own way. But yeah, most Star Wars and music probably do have the worst. Jumper is tight. What are you what are you talking about, Davin? Jumper's tight. What do you mean? But yeah, when Qui-Gon is kneeling, waiting for that door to open for him to jump into battle with Darth Maul, I thought that was cool. But yeah, Obi-Wan sees his master get killed, and he definitely, when the door moves for him, you see him. He's antsy, and when that door moves, he jumps into battle. He goes more on the offense than he's known for. Because Obi-Wan is a master of the defensive arts when it comes to... Hey, now! That's enough! Obi-Wan is more of a defensive lightsaber wielder. So, seeing him kind of use anger in that fight was neat. It was neat. Oh, the movie Stan was talking about. The jumper is tight. We'll have to check that out one night. But yeah, seeing the meditation part was good. It does remind me of classic kung fu films. That's a good point to make. It does remind me of the classic kung fu films. Stan, we're talking about how when Qui-Gon's waiting behind those red doors, when he's about to fight Maul, he's meditating. And I thought that was just so cool, dude. And Mark says that reminds him of classic kung fu films.
Yeah. Kung fu or samurai. Mm-hmm. He's sitting there, and I think at that moment he knows it's either him or Maul, one of the two. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of where he's maybe becoming at peace with what happened with Dooku, how he lost his master. He's becoming at peace with anything, and I want to get more into that, his background, like his, what happened throughout Qui-Gon's life. I think he's just trying to make himself at peace, and then that's how he reaches the potential to become a Force ghost right before he dies.
Which is why I'm thankful for Tales of the Jedi, because we got a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't pay too much attention, so I don't know how in depth they went, but we did.
There was only, I want to say, one, maybe two episodes that included the young Qui-Gon. Tales of the Jedi focused mostly on Dooku and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But we did get to see a little bit of a young Qui-Gon.
Yeah, definitely had cameos.
But I was talking about how Obi-Wan kind
of brought up Jumper, yeah. So.
Yeah, he said Jumper's tight. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, duh. But how Obi-Wan jumps into battle and he's using anger. You can tell he's definitely using anger in that fight because he's obviously still a learner. He's still learning.
Yeah, so he was definitely fueled by frustration and a little bit of rage.
And you can see it like in some of those strikes, his facial expressions. It's so cool to see Obi-Wan go on the offense because you don't see it really at all after this. Because like I was just saying, Obi-Wan he's a master of the defensive arts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he fights a lot like Dooku did. I think Form 7.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say. And that's more like, I don't know, fighting as if you have a shield, even though you don't have a shield on one arm.
It was almost like he knew he wasn't coming out of that, so he prepared himself and defending Obi as much as he could. Yeah, I agree. Davin, you're an idiot. Ahsoka is such a baddie. He says, we love Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
We love Rosario Dawson. She is indeed a baddie.
I agree.
So yeah, it's a short and sweet fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. Darth Maul gets the upper hand on him, obviously, for a second. Gets him into that pit to where he's holding on. And Obi-Wan uses some quick thinking and does the whole fucking jumps and force grabs the Qui-Gon's lightsaber and kind of just lands behind Maul. Maul's like, shit, didn't expect that. Chopped his ass in half. The CG in that scene when he's falling into the pit, it's so bad. It's so bad. But short and sweet fight.
That was like their little callback Easter egg to episode 6. When Vader threw Palpatine down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Duh. That is fucking. You be pointing out shit that I don't even think of, man. That's why I'm glad you're on here,
dude. The stuff that I don't say when you bring up topics, and then I'm like, oh, well, this happened, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good mixture.
So yeah, Obi-Wan beats Darth Maul, and he runs over to Qui-Gon's body, and Qui-Gon's dying wish is that Obi-Wan trains Anakin.
Yeah.
And he's like, obviously he's gonna say yeah. He's not gonna. So
he didn't want to lose his master, and he's like, well, if this is my responsibility now, I'll do it in your name.
Yep. And Yoda and the entire council is still somewhat against Anakin being trained, regardless of Qui-Gon's death. But
probably even making Obi-Wan a master. They may have felt he wasn't ready either.
yeah. But Obi-Wan, the Qui-Gon in him was like, look, man, this is, I promised him. And Yoda was like, yeah, there's that Qui-Gon in you. That's a problem. But it was obviously the right decision for the time. And I want to bring up how when Yoda is kind of telling Obi-Wan it's not a good idea to train Anakin, in the background you get that Vader theme, and I thought that was just a nice touch, just a dun 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 dun, dun in the background. I was like, oh, that's cute. That's cute.
I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah. So moving on, they burn Qui-Gon's body. Didn't know that that's how they do the memorials for Jedi. Didn't know they burn the bodies. Kind of like if anyone's seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, they do the same thing in the Vision for when Wonder Woman dies. She kind of is being burned in the same fashion.
That's true.
And yeah, we get our classic Star Wars ending with the celebration, and if you pay attention to the music in the background of the celebration, it's the Emperor's theme sped up. Don't know if you knew that, but yeah.
I know that song you're talking about.
Fun fact. It's the Emperor's theme sped up. So, yeah. That is the Phantom Menace. It's a Viking burial.
Oh. It is a Viking burial.
It's a Viking burial. Okay, cool. Sweet.
Burnt that motherfucker like a wood.
Oh God, he's trying to roll up a 3-5 in the wood. There was a character that throughout the movie pops up every now and then, and every time he talked, me and Davin were just like, "Man, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm just trying to roll this 3-5 in this wood."
That's hilarious.
So yeah, that's the Phantom Menace. Not horrible, not perfect. But definitely not the worst, definitely not the best. I think it's just an average.
If you're going to start it from episode 1, I think most of the movies get better from that one. So
yeah, they definitely get better as because we all know there's a lot of prequel haters out there.
Force Ghost OG.
Force Ghost OG. So yeah, there you have it, the Phantom Menace. What'd you think about it? Let me know in a comment down below, looking ass.
If you want me to, you want to give it a quick star?
Give it a quick star out of 5?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say like a 2.75 or a 3 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna give it a flat 2.
Cool.
Yeah, a flat 2. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I mean, I do hate it, but I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So, yeah, it's obviously required for viewing, but
if you want to see Annie as a kid and you want to see Obi-Wan's master and you want to see Darth Maul.
Yeah, if you have any reason to watch this movie, it's those Qui-Gon, Darth Maul, baby Anakin, all that good stuff. I think the actors all did fine. I think there wasn't not quite the holiday special bad, but average at best. Yeah, I've never seen the holiday special.
I've watched a little bit of it.
I think we'll have to do that. The
Lego one? Was that the Lego one?
No. The holiday special from the original 3 time period.
Oh.
There's a holiday special that everyone memes the shit out of. I've never seen it. Maybe next week we'll take a look at that and we'll talk about that.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's the Phantom Menace. Had a good time talking about it. Nice little conversation. We've been on here for about an hour and a half now.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and move on to Star Wars Visions. Wait a minute. Did we talk about your topics that you got brought up? We talked about everything.
Other than just small ones, which I think was who is your favorite character from the Phantom Menace? You don't have to go too deep since we're going towards the end of the topic.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah, that was mine as well.
Qui-Gon.
And if I had to choose, like a villain, it was obviously Darth Maul.
Yeah, if I had to choose the villains, I think Darth Maul as well.
Because at that time, you knew who Sidious was, but me, when I first watched it and growing up, not knowing, like getting into the lore, I didn't know that was Sidious Palpatine.
Yeah, yeah.
I was confused. I thought the Trade Federation was behind like everything that was going on.
I mean, that's what they pretty much lead you to believe.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the point. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Mark says if you can sit through the sequels, you can sit through the holiday special.
All right.
I mean, okay. Okay.
Hey, a holiday special that's good, the Trailer Park Boys one.
The Trailer Park Boys. I like Trailer Park Boys. Mark says Darth Maul and Qui-Gon easily. Davin, what do you think? What's your favorite? If you're still in here, what's your favorite characters from the Phantom Menace?
So Boba.
Sebulba.
Yeah, I want more on him.
Yeah, I do too. So, moving on. Star Wars Visions Season 2. We had a chance to watch it this past week. I think both of us kind of mutually agree that there were some episodes that we kind of just didn't pay attention to because they kind of were just a little boring.
Yeah,
boring.
And we are watching, it's visions from other other studios that are creating it. Some of them just, they may not, you see it just at first glance and you're not big on what it looks like. But some of them that I wasn't too big on the animation, the stories were actually better than some of the ones I liked the animation for.
Okay.
Like, cause I liked episode 5 a lot for the animation, but I didn't pay too much to the story. But like, 7, I'm not big on that animation. That I like that one a lot too.
What's the name of that movie that I couldn't think of where the animation style?
That was episode 4, the Wallace and Gromit or Shaun the Sheep type animation.
Wallace and Gromit, yeah, the Shaun the Sheep animation. Didn't really get into that one.
No.
Really quick, what was your favorite episode?
I'd probably say it's a split decision between. Or actually, no, I'm gonna go ahead and go with 8, The Pit. I like The Pit a lot.
The Pit,
the one we watched before we came on.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I liked Sith too. Episode 1.
Sith was a good one. Yeah, for me, it's a 3-way tie between Sith, episode 2 with the cave, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, that one was
awesome. Episode 5. Episode 5 was so good.
I feel like 5 is definitely gonna be a lot of newer Star Wars or just even regular Star Wars fans. Just because it's anime and it's Star Wars.
That's what I was thinking. That would bring in like a lot of anime fans.
Yeah, if you like anime, then you're gonna love that. If you like both, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, because it's like a traditional anime style type deal. And since there was a couple episodes we didn't really dive too deep into, and obviously some of our good viewers here have not seen Visions. We're not going to go too far into spoilers. Just wanted to talk about Visions for a second because I do find the premise of it very cool, and I think if they keep doing these, that there's some potential here. There's some potential.
Yeah, and we can get into the first 2 episodes. I got a couple of notes written down. It's not going to spoil anything too much.
Yeah, go ahead.
But, so the first episode, it shows this girl Lola, and she's an artist who lives on a remote planet and with her droid, and the droid's name is E2, and she has one mechanical arm, but she's covered around this. I guess it's like an abandoned ship or something she's living in. I can't remember, or it could have just been like an underground base. But there's like art everywhere, like either art she's put there, or I don't know if she has force abilities where she, because it seems like she may have that where she can use art to her ability,
Yeah.
which I thought was cool.
I thought that was really cool too. It was really unique and different. It was
Yeah.
different.
So I mean, I don't want to get. I wrote a couple more notes to that, but I feel like that's enough to say. I don't want to get, you know, I don't want to put a whole synopsis for the episode down. Like,
Yeah,
go check it out. It's awesome. There's more to it, and they're real
definitely.
short episodes too. They're only like 12 to 15 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the longest one's like 19 minutes.
Yeah, but then episode 2, the one that you like a lot, which is the Screecher's Reach. It's a young girl, and she's out on an adventure with her friends. They discover a legendary cave, and it has a dark pull to it. So I guess there's a lot of dark energy in that cave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, she gets separated by her friends, or I thought it was her parents, but I assume the Disney description for the episode says it's her friends. So she gets separated by them, and then she ends up finding a lightsaber, and it seems like she gets put to a test of some sort.
Right.
I thought that was a good episode as well. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked that episode a lot too. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, yeah, like you
Yeah,
said.
at first it didn't seem like it was gonna lead up to much, but then
Mm-hmm.
at the end of it, I was like, can we get like 4 or 5
More of
more
this?
episodes?
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see
get
what happens to this kid.
right. That was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that episode was really cool. So, yeah, if you're gonna dive into Visions, I say because you don't have to watch them all because it's not connected.
Yeah,
I say watch
at all.
episodes 1, 2, 5, and
I would say
8.
8. Definitely
8.
put 8 in there. Yeah.
8. 1, 2,
Those are
5, and 8 for sure.
Yeah, I'd say the first 5 that you can see 1, 2, and 5, they're up there on our list for the episodes, and then 8, that's one of the better ones for the back half.
Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about 5 because I would like y'all to like really experience that without knowing anything going into it. So, but just a quick little, it's a Jedi and a like a pilot mechanic team up to they go to this planet to there are these 2 heads, and they believe that if they destroy one of the heads it will turn the war. Like if they destroy the Sith head, then it'll turn the war in favor of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And they are intercepted by a Sith that may or may not have a connection to the Jedi. That is in the Devert.
That's what I was about to say with the hot dogs.
Hot dogs in the chat. Hot dogs in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, but the Sith is connected to the. He may or may not be connected to the Jedi that is teaming up with the pilot. So yeah, go ahead, head over to Disney Plus, head over to whatever you want to watch it on. Check that out. Episodes 1, 2, 5, and 8 are all pristine. The rest are.
And before we get off this, I want to go into the name behind it, Star Wars Visions. I love it that there's different studios making episodes. Each episode, I don't know how many seasons they have planned, but that's like how we had our own vision as well with a story in Star Wars. So that's cool that they're they're bringing other people and writers into it, and if it's just for one episode, there's a little story.
Yeah, it's like an anthology type deal.
Yeah, and it gives us more to Star Wars than just what the hardcore people are used to or want.
Yeah. So Devert, go watch Star Wars Visions.
Yeah.
Go watch episode 5 of Star Wars Visions.
And The Mandalorian.
And The Mandalorian. Yeah.
I know you're slacking on that.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Tonku Gaff is here. Tonku Gaff is in the chat.
It is Tonku.
Tonku Gaff is in the chat. So yeah, go check out Star Wars Visions if you haven't. It's a good time. I say season 1 is a little weaker than season 2, but there are still some gems in there. So
yeah. Season 1, episode 2, I think the twins. That's probably the best episode of season 1.
right.
Or it's episode 3. Sorry.
There's a good question for you, Stan. Mark says you guys gonna check out the Younglings show.
I actually did check it out a little bit. I watched like the first two episodes. The main protagonist, his name is Kai Brightstar, I want to say. I think that's his name. It's really cool. It's based in the High Republic era. He's got a cool little friend named Nub. He's a blue bear. I haven't watched all of it. It's definitely a kid's show, but it's cool. It's got Yoda in it. I like
It
it
has
so
Yoda in it.
far. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
So
gonna watch it.
he's Kai's Jedi master, and Kai has Nub, and then this other girl that is and they go on missions together. So I assume they're Jedi Knights because they wouldn't just send three Padawans on missions.
Right.
But the first mission, it's not to spoil much. I mean, it's only the first episode, but I think the end of the first episode, this pirate, I can't remember his name. It starts with a T, but he steals Kai's lightsaber. But it's either Kai. Kai has he has a hard choice to make. It's either save his lightsaber or save someone else. And then he chooses the person over the lightsaber. But I assume he's gonna try to go get it back.
Yep, I have not checked it out myself, but now that you say that
yeah.
Yoda's in it, I will definitely go.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and say this too. Yoda actually gives him a new lightsaber, and it's a green one. And I think Yoda said it was his master's lightsaber. I think it may be wrong, but I think that's what he said. And that was cool. So he may still go on the hunt to get his original saber back to give Yoda his back. But I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, that is what is the actual name of that show?
I think it's Young Jedi Adventures.
Young Jedi Adventures. So we shall check out Young Jedi Adventures. I will check it out over the next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next week when I have a little more knowledge on it.
There's only 7 episodes. I want to say they're all around 20 to 23 minutes.
Okay.
The average episode that would air.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a Nickelodeon or a Disney. It looks more like Nickelodeon than Disney, which is funny. Other than I guess the facial features. They
Right.
definitely look Pixar-y, but I don't know, the storyline seems more Nickelodeon, like Nick Jr.
Which I don't have a problem with that. Like I told you earlier, I mean, Camp Cretaceous on Netflix, the Jurassic Park show, that's a little bit more geared towards kids. It's canon. If it's canon, I'm gonna watch it. So
right, yeah. And
if it's canon, I'm gonna watch it.
At this point, anything Disney releases is canon, unless they say otherwise. Us fans, we have our own
head canon here, because I don't care what Disney says. Legends is still canon.
Yeah, exactly.
So pretty good discussion on both Visions and the Phantom Menace, and a little bit about the Younglings show. What did you? I know you wanted to talk about Order 66 and how you had some changes that you wanted to make.
Yeah, just a couple plot changes. I mean,
Let me hear them.
There was one character in it, one of the main characters to the story. He, I guess since I'm set in stone on changing it, we killed him off. I killed him off, but I don't want to do that anymore. Since we're gonna make it into a comic, and hopefully by the end of this year or early next year, it'll be a digital comic. We'll have that first issue out. I want to keep the story going, but since at first we were gonna just make the fan film, I wanted a set in stone story. We do that and that's it, because I didn't. We may not have the funds to do a second one.
Which is still in the cards. A fan film is not off the table just yet.
At all. No. Then there's no time frame on that, but it's I would go for more of a yes than a no.
It's more of a yes than a no right now, but the comic is 100% coming.
I just didn't. I wanted to change that character we killed, since we're going in a route where we could probably tell more of a story within that original script. Now that script right there is definitely, that could be the end. So we'll dive more into that, but I don't want to change too much.
That does make sense. That could be the end of the last issue.
We could start that issue right there as it is, and then go back and just introduce the characters with no backstory and have different stories. And
Yep, do more with Belmere. Now, did we change
yeah,
the name?
is it changed on there?
Did we change the name because the actor that we had gonna
Yeah,
play?
he can't play him anymore. He doesn't want to play him. He wants to do something like he said. He may not now, but
Maybe we can use his likeness still for the comic and make the character
yeah,
look like him.
yeah. Here it is. The final script.
Did we change it?
I think we did take him out completely.
Oh, we took him out.
I think we did. I'm looking at it. Oh no! We just changed his name.
What did we change it to?
Kazuma.
Oh,
Oh,
Kazama.
Kazama. Yeah, I didn't know how to say it. It's been 2.5,
Kazama. Yeah,
2 years since
yeah.
we wrote it.
So we did change. That means that we
Yeah.
probably contacted, or we may have attempted to contact someone else to play that role, and it just never flushed out. But
Right.
yeah, since we're going the comic
So
route,
that row is still open, yeah, because we are going to get pictures of everyone that was supposed to be in the
mhm,
short film for the
and
comic.
all of these characters, I mean, unfortunately, except for characters like Mace Windu, and I think we
And
should make them look closer to
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
like Sam Jackson. I mean, not exactly Sam Jackson because we don't want to get sued, but
right.
maybe Clone Wars Sam Jackson,
Yeah,
the animated show.
and even then, we could take that part out. I'm not saying we have to. It's cool to bring him back, and if we do that in a comic, then yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yep. So, chat, keep an eye out. Keep your eye on the Jedi Temple podcast Facebook page, Instagram page. Marvel did it with Sam Jackson and the Ultimates. That's how he got the movie role. You could probably get that to work too. Okay. See, yeah. But yeah, keep your eye out on the Facebook page and the Instagram page for more updates regarding what we're doing with the comic. And as soon as we get some hard evidence, some things to show you guys, we will definitely drop some images. And I really can't wait for that because
Yeah,
that's
especially
going to be fun.
as soon as we get some concept art, which I want. I
Mhm.
want to get on. I want to get on that soon. We'll drop it immediately.
Yeah, so if anyone knows any digital artists, holler at us. Let us know. Anyone who is down to really sit and make this come to life for us on the page, please send them our way. Let us know because we will get the money together. We will pay whoever, whatever, to get this made.
Definitely.
So yeah, there is that. Stan, you want to check out this short film?
Yes. Let's
Darth
get into this.
Maul,
Yes,
baby, Darth Maul. All right, chat. We are heading to the reaction room to the Jedi archives. And here I am. All right. Let me just get it pulled up here.
So I'll tell you what, YouTube, watching it live on YouTube, it's a lot more delayed than what Facebook was.
Yeah.
I mean, if I refresh it, it might be better. Oh yeah, it's definitely better now since I refreshed it.
Sweet.
But I don't see my camera on.
Oh yeah, your camera is not on.
Is it on now? I think so. Turned it off and turned it back on. That's one thing I feel like it does, is it turns my camera off after.
Like once we get into the reaction room and you're like, I think.
See, now it just went off again. It looks like.
Yeah, it is off. Are you full screen watching my screen share on Discord, or am I even screen sharing on Discord?
It doesn't. I mean, I can't see it on Discord.
You're back. Hold on 1 second. Let me.
Okay. Zach said we all need to link up, which that is true. We do.
Shit. 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 I gotta recrop you, Stan. Shit.
Mark asked if we wanted to check out the. Oh no, okay, we already went over that. Zach said we need to link up. I know we do. Wednesdays are for Star Wars, but
Wednesdays are for Star Wars.
I missed you, Zach, and I miss little Rosalind too. She's adorable.
Yep, I miss you, brother. We do got to work something out to where we can all get into the same room. Maybe even if it's to go grab a bite to eat or something, man. We got to figure something out.
Devin said something about making some stills for certain bigger scenes. You know, like, I guess, background.
Like a background? Yeah. Davin, I will send you the script after the stream, and you can, if you get time, fucking, dream up some stuff, how you think it should look, and send it over to us, man. If you're down to help us with that, that would be sick. I'm cool with that, and I know Stan is as well.
Yeah. I want to reach out, try to find some people, ones that aren't in college at least, or got time to work on a side project.
Yeah, because I mean it is gonna be a little time consuming, of course.
Yeah, and it may be a year from now that we finally get it out. Star Wars Celebration next year, but at least we'll have something.
Yeah, Star Wars Celebration next year, which is gonna be the 1 year anniversary. May 4th of next year would be the 1 year anniversary of this podcast.
Yeah.
Which is sick. That's why I'm glad we started this on that day, because now it feels like that whole day is dedicated to us.
Yeah. And hopefully next year we have more topics to talk about.
Yeah, something to talk about, man, because they did give us Squad.
Yeah, they just released 2 shows, which was cool, but they didn't, I guess they did most of their announcing kind of like how Marvel does. We got this show coming out, this movie coming out. Be on the lookout for it.
All right, so guys, this is Darth Maul Apprentice. It's a Star Wars fan film. This is one of the ones that we really studied and watched a lot to prep for Order 66. And
yeah, we sure did. We watched quite a few too.
Yeah, we watched a few, and this is one of the better ones. So we got
if you never watched a Star Wars fan film and watch this, there's a lot that are really good.
Watch this one, and then I promise you, if you're into Star Wars, you're gonna want to go to YouTube and just type in Star Wars fan film and just dive into them, because there's a lot of good ones. So go ahead and press play in 3, 2. Stan's camera's off.
I know, I saw it happen on the stream.
Our enemies will pay for what they have done to us. The annihilation of our people will not be left unpunished. For 1,000 years we have been waiting, hiding, observing. But our time to strike is finally at hand. My apprentice. Now the Jedi are weak, blinded by arrogance and limited by compassion. They choose to deny the true nature of the Force. That hate makes us powerful. Very soon we will be strong enough and vengeance will be ours. But until then, our presence must be kept hidden. We cannot let them know what we are planning. You must protect our secrets at all costs. Any intruder must be destroyed immediately.
I'm getting closer to the source of the signal. I can feel it.
Very good.
Wait! I think there's something else.
Hell yeah.
Looks so much like Maul too.
Yeah, I know.
And the Jedi he was fighting, like it's kind of like
It cannot
has
be.
the hair of Qui-Gon a little bit. Thought that was cool.
We shouldn't have come here.
We must inform the council.
There is no time. We have to deal with it ourselves.
Everyone focus. Don't let him get away.
Stay close to me.
You have been beaten. Surrender. There's no escape for you.
Ah, gotcha.
Yep.
We can't defeat him. We have to retreat.
If we let him escape, it could mean the end for all of us. You have to trust me.
Okay.
Your fighting style is a long-forgotten art, but I understand it now.
Let us leave. We already lost too much.
We can get him. Don't be afraid, my young apprentice. I will protect you. Come. Focus.
Oh, dude, our stream got
We just got suspended.
Dang, bro.
What?
Was it because of that short film?
Had to be.
Damn.
Had to be.
Damn. Stream suspended for policy violations. Damn. I said that earlier too. I didn't think it would happen though.
What? What? What?
Dude.
Luckily for us, I've been recording.
Yeah. That is good. Say, I don't know if we can go back live after that. At least, I'm sure there's. The chat still works though, but I mean, dang. Still says we're live.
Yeah, it still says we're live. No. No.
Man, I wanted to keep going a little longer. I like the 6:30 to around like 9. Last time we went to 9:30.
I'm scared to press stop streaming, but I think I'm gonna have to.